What's going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage. Today we are in the shop with our 2008 ES350 Lexus, and we're going to be fixing a very common transmission leak on this, but you'll also find this transmission in, a bunch of Toyotas and a bunch of other different Lexuses, so this video will apply to a bunch of different vehicles. So in our first video with this car, we showed you what we thought was an axle seal leak. If you look here, this is the differential housing of the transmission. You'll see it's very wet. The further back we go on the subframe, it's wet. The brake lines and the fuel lines are wet. It's been leaking for quite a while. So like I said, we thought it was axle seals. We weren't gonna do anything with it. We were just gonna, double check the transmission has fluid in it and be done with it. But I did a little bit more of an inspection, and then I found something that looks like it's our leak. So I did a little bit of research, and it actually turns out this is a super common problem with the U660E. It's a common leak point, and we're going to show you just how easy this is to fix. So there's a couple of different things you're going to need to go ahead and perform this repair. First off, you're going to need part number 33403-35230. This is the speedometer block-off plug. These transmissions were designed to be used with both electronically controlled and not electronically controlled. So there's actually a location where a plastic gear can actually be inserted into the transmission to give your car a reading for the speedometer. Obviously, nothing here in the United States, to my knowledge, with the U660E uses this. So they install this plug here, and if you look inside, we'll open it up in just a minute, there's a plug with an O-ring. So you're going to need this. This is going to be what is actively leaking. This is going to fix your leak. You're going to need several cans of brake clean to go ahead and de-oilize the underneath of your car, because you'll see ours is thoroughly coated all the way back. And then you're going to need whatever flavor of automatic transmission fluid that you are going to top your transmission off with. Usually I'm a WS guy. I have WS here, but that stuff is expensive. This is a car that I'm flipping, and I'm not draining the transmission. I'm just adding probably at most a quart of this stuff. And if you read the back here, this is rated as being compatible with Toyota Lexus WS. You'll see right here, WS. So this is what we're going to go ahead and use. We're going to add probably, like I said, about a quart of that. And then when we're done with the repair, we're going to go ahead and do the fluid inspection procedure using a scan tool. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So let's lower the car down. Let's talk about where this speedometer block-off plug is, and let's go ahead and get it repaired. So here we are, top side. Obviously, here's the top of the engine. Right under your air cleaner is your transmission. And if you look right next to the shifter linkage, let's see if I can get you down there a little bit further, you'll actually see the plug in question. I'll circle it in the video so you can see it, but it's almost directly in the center of the frame right now. So it's super easy to get to. Realistically, all we need to do is go ahead and pull this air cleaner, and we'll have full access to it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It's going to be a 10 millimeter here. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove the top half. I don't have to touch the bottom, I don't believe. It looks like we just have to pull the top half. So it's going to be the 10 millimeter there. We're going to unclip the air box, and then just take a picture and make a mental note of how your vacuum hoses here are routed, and then just unplug your mass airflow sensor, and you can get this guy right out. So now that we got the air cleaner off, you'll see we have a much better view here of the block-off plug in question, and you'll see the whole top of this transmission where that plug is just covered in gook. So before we remove that, we're going to go ahead and take some brake cleaner and a paper towel, and the best we can, we're going to clean that off, because when I remove that plug to replace it with the new one, I do not want any of that crap falling into the transmission. So let's go ahead, clean that up. If it makes it easier for you to get down there, by all means, feel free to remove the lower air cleaner. It's literally held in with 3 10 millimeter bolts under the air filter. And you can slide it backwards and out. Maybe for the sake of this video, we'll do that just so you guys can see what we are doing. So yeah, we'll go ahead and pull that and then we'll show you where we're at after we clean that off. And when you remove that lower air box, you are going to have the mass airflow harness to unclip from it. Just go ahead and keep that wire somewhere where you'll remember where it is. And then you're also going to have another wire right here going to the bypass valve for the wide open throttle flap. Make sure you unplug that. That plugs in right here. And then you just have to unplug this evap line out of its clip. But again, now you'll see if I grab my flashlight here, we have an even better shot at that block off plug. So again, we're gonna clean that off and we'll be back. After a proper cleaning, this is what you should see. Again, we sprayed it with some brake clean and then I just blew it off with compressed air. So now we're gonna go ahead and remove the 10mm nut that is holding it in. You'll see it there in the shot towards the rear of the vehicle. I'm just using a 1/4-inch ratchet with a universal socket on there. We're gonna go ahead and remove that. We'll pull it out with a pair of needle nose. I have a long pair of needle nose here I can use to get down there and remove it. It's these guys here. And then we'll get it out. We'll open up the new one. We'll put them side by side. And then we'll go ahead and fill the trans back up. All right, so here is the old plug. You can't see it because you're not here. But this O-ring here that is on this plug is so brittle and hard that I'm really not surprised that it's leaking. Now, it is possible to just replace this O-ring. I'll leave that part number in the video description as well. I don't have it on hand. I just decided if I was taking the plug out, I'm just gonna replace it and it's gonna come with the new O-ring. And here is the bolt that holds it in. Now, I'm gonna do a shortcut to fill this transmission because usually you have to pull the driver's wheel and use a special 24mm socket, which I actually have out here ready to use. I'll leave one in the video description below if you want to fill it by the book. I can show you where the plug is. But we already have the top of this transmission wide open right now where that plug was. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to dump our transmission funnel here down into the hole. And I'm going to dump about 1/4 of this fluid in there. And that's going to be how we're going to fill the trans back up. So I'll go ahead, I'll pour that fluid in, I'll install our new plug. I am going to oil those this seal first. I'm going to spray some silicone spray on there before I dump it in, or before I put it in. That way it doesn't rip or tear the seal at all. And I did also wipe down the bore of that plug as well. But let's go ahead, top the trans off, put the plug in, and then we'll show you how to set the fluid level. Okay, the new plug is in. I actually lubed up that O-ring with transmission fluid. I don't know why I said I was going to use silicone spray. So we lubed it up with trans fluid, slid it right in, tightened it down. Let's go ahead and throw our air box here back in, plug everything back together, and then we're going to go ahead and set up our scan tool, and we'll get this thing into the fluid adjustment window to go ahead and make sure we have the fluid level set correctly. All right, guys, so we're in the car now. We're just going to go ahead and go from park, reverse, neutral, drive. We're going to do this several times. This is just going to get that fluid circulating through the transmission. And we're going to end in park with the air conditioning off. And now we're going to go ahead and get it up in the air. So what we have here is our automatic transmission fluid graft. Right now we're sitting at 73 degrees. We need to get it between 104 and 113. And when it gets to 104, we're going to use a 6mm Allen key. And we're going to go ahead and pull this plug. And we're going to let the transmission drain until it slows to a trickle. Once it slows to a trickle, we know it's at the correct level. Now, traditionally, you would need to remove this panel here. And behind this panel, right there, is the 24mm fill plug. So if you didn't fill it the way we did, that would be where you fill it from. But let's go ahead, wait until we're at 104 and crack that drain plug. All right, guys, we're at 104 degrees. Let's stick our 6mm Allen key in here. Pull this plug. And we need to add more fluid. This thing was pretty low. Let's go ahead and shut it down real quick and add some more. Turns out this thing was quite a bit lower on fluid than I thought because I put a quart in it. So now we get to fill it from the factory location because I'm not taking the airbox back out. So you're just gonna have to remove two 10mm bolts to go ahead and move this panel out of the way. You're gonna take that 24mm fill plug out. Let me grab it, I'll show you. That's this guy right here. Now we're gonna go ahead and pump another quart. I put, this was almost empty, this bottle of WS. So I filled it up with Max Life. And we're gonna pump damn near this whole quart into this thing because I don't wanna have to add any more. So I'll probably have to let this drain for a little bit longer, and I'm making an absolute mess here. And let's try that again. We still need to add more fluid. This sucks. Hopefully the third time's the charm here. Yes, all right, cool. Now we just have to wait for this to slow to a trickle and we'll be good to go. You do want to make sure that you don't go over 113 degrees when you're doing this. So we're just going to take a peek. We're sitting at 108 right now, so we're okay. And we're in the middle of slowing down to the trickle. And that's good to me. Go ahead. Grab our 6mm and snug that down. Well, it took us 3 tries here. We ended up having to put almost 3 quarts of trans fluid into this transmission. So that thing must have been leaking for quite a while. And quite honestly, I don't know how it was still shifting because that pan only holds about between 3 and 4 quarts if you were to do a drain and fill on one of these. So I'm really surprised that fluid wasn't being aerated, considering how much we had to add to it. But with that being said, I hope this video helped you. Hopefully this helps you address and repair a very common leak on these U660E transmissions found in your Lexus ES 350, RX 350, Camry, Avalon, RAV4, V6, anything with the 2GRFE and the U660E, this video will help you with. So please like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned. We're going to be replacing a control arm in our next video with this car, and we'll see you next time.